Well, good evening everybody on YouTube. I'm Sparky Mike. Welcome to the Ol'skool Reefer channel. I got several things going on around here. So one is a tank upgrade downstairs. I'm upgrading a 50 gallon to an 80 gallon frag tank. Simply because 10 inches in height is way too short. So I thought I'd give a view of tanks this evening. And Mr. Mo. But we'll get back to what we're doing. Anyways, I scored a 80 gallon tank locally, stored nearby, and I special ordered it and it showed up. And got to thinking I better look this tank over kind of hard before I go drilling the back of the tank, as to make sure it wasn't tempered. Because if you drill tempered glass, it will explode on you like safety glass, like side window in a car, just drop out. So I got to looking really hard, and the tank showed up, and sure enough, it has, similar to house windows sometimes, they have a little emblem that's barely etched in the glass down on the bottom corner. It's usually marked, and it'll tell you if the glass is tempered or not. Sorry, I don't have a filter on these guys tonight. I should say a filter on the camera. So anyways, I'll get on with the story, and we'll show you part of why I'm posting this video tonight. Is this here, as you'll see in my prior videos, was almost softball size. And it was a frag I left on a frag rack way too long, overgrew, almost to the size of a softball. But it is no more tonight. I was wondering how the hell I was going to frag this, being as thick as it is, and as heavy as it was actually pulling the magnets off of 5/8 inch glass. And I'd find it on the bottom occasionally. I'd back it up with this cleaner magnet to keep it from falling off, but it was kind of a real pain, so I've been thinking about it for about 4 or 5 months and getting the gumption up to just go do it. So as of tonight, it's not hurt too bad. You'll see the other half of it towards the end of the video here, but I successfully cut 3/4 of it off without breaking my frag rack, without cutting a finger off, and relatively simple, and the clowns are still trying to host in it. So all seems well this evening. So we'll proceed on with the explanation of what I'm doing tonight and what happened earlier today. Come on, dogs. Slow down, Chloe. Easy, Bubba. No hopping now. No hopping. So I ordered this 80 gallon tank, and it shows up like I was explaining earlier. And some tanks have bright orange stickers on the bottom that tells you it's tempered, and some don't. And this is fairly legible, and in the corner, and of course tempered. Ah, what a drag. So I can't drill the back of it for a bean animal drain. So what I decided to do let's go ahead, instead of trying to find another 80-gallon tank, which is 16 inches tall, a whole bunch more room to work with, and of course my angelfish will be happier, and everything else, as I like a row of rocks along the back anyways to at least attach stuff to. So I decided we'll get a hang on the back. And 20 years ago, I used to use the CPR hang on the back unit. And of course it showed up a little bit ago. And I'm going to see if I ordered a CPR return line. This is a 3/4 to 1 inch. Of course, the ball and socket line is too big for lock line, standard lock line 3/4. So I'm going to try and purchase their 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch unit and see if it'll fit standard lock line. I can't seem to find anything anywhere it says anything, but I went ahead and ordered an Ol'skool CPR unit. After I found out that they quit Tom's Aqua lifter, little pump you used to use and sit up here to pull the air out of the siphon chamber. They no longer make those Tom's pumps. And God, I've been seeing them. Used ones are new in box on eBay. $50 and higher now or something outrageous. So I decided that that was totally ridiculous for that. I actually got this unit. It's a, what is it? Whatchamacallit? There you go. CS102. It has 2 1-inch drains coming out of it. So couldn't find a Tom's pump, blah blah blah. Looked like a pain in the butt. And so I got to looking around, and of course on eBay you can find little peristaltic pumps. And I found one with a case and one without a case. This is going to be my backup parts, which you always want to have backup parts, especially when they're cheap. It's like buying those Tom's Aqua lifter pumps. You always wanted to buy 2 of them, because usually one went out in the middle of the night and you had to get her fixed in no time flat or whatever, and or you ended up with a leak on the floor. So I decided eBay a little peristaltic pumps. This unit here was a whole whopping $17, so not any more than the original Tom's pumps. Adjustable, of course, for flow rate. Heads are interchangeable. It looks like pretty standard. Same head with almost all of them. This one was a fancier Kimura. So we'll see. I have 2 of them at least. Backups, double hoses. This one even came with an extra small hose. So $17. This was like $11. I'm fixed up for pumps to run the CPR drains, by the way. It seems like they're almost discontinuing these drains because the Tom's pumps are no longer available. So this is kind of a fix for the deal. You get the drain for $70 off eBay. A couple pumps for $20, you're in business. They aren't a full-time, full-duty, or duty cycle, 100% duty cycle on these, so I wouldn't run them full-time, or they probably won't last very long. So the cure for that is buying a multi-position timer that has 15-minute increments that you can pull. I don't know if you can see there, but that one pin is pushed in slightly. But you can trigger these timers here, 84 positions or something, every 15 minutes, every hour. You can basically pull a pin and the pump will run for 15 minutes. And so I'm going to run it, probably, we'll test it out, but I'm going to pull 1 pin every hour, every 2 hours to pull air, of course, out of the siphon. Won't have to run full time, adjustable speed. There's your cure for your CPR drains that they seem to be discontinuing. So there you go. Ta-da! I don't have to drill the glass. That cures that. So as I was showing you that frag earlier, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I had an idea. I've been contemplating 4 months. So I finally decided and grabbed myself by the bootstraps and came out here and fired up my wet tile saw. Pulled the side plate out so I could get a little more depth on the rack, and was able to actually cut all the way through, almost all the way through that gonapora real quick and painless, and got her done. So ta-ta. I'll continue on with the tour. Oh, I did forget something. And if you want to build, I should say, if you're going to build yourself a killer stand and you want it super strong, again, use those LVL beams I showed in an earlier episode. But I doubled them up on this one this time. They're basically replicant of a 2x6. They're 1.75 inches thick by 5.5, and I doubled these up on this one because it's going to be over 800 pounds by the time it's done. So back downstairs we go. Over the dog. Past the cat leashes. It's about to freeze tonight in good old Denver, Colorado. I'm going to bring plants in and weatherize and blow out sprinklers and do all kinds of things today. So here is a hospital tank, I guess, that I have converted back to a freshwater tank and have turned it into my beta tank. I'm going to buy some Kalula loaches, probably cardinal tetras, and a small community tank. I don't know if you can see it real well. I'm sorry, I turned the light off completely. And my first original stands I made. Table saw and dowel. So anyways, we'll go on to the tour. Here's a 50-gallon tank I'm going to swap out for that 80 out in the garage. And I listed this on Craigslist and then got a buyer for it. So I'll swap it out here shortly. I wish I had an orange filter that was handy. This anemone was just gorgeous and huge. And of course, about everybody's hiding. And ta-da! There is the other 3/4 of that gonapora that I cut off earlier today. It's actually trying to recover. It had a rough go, but pretty good size. It's pretty much this size. So a wet table saw or a wet tile saw seems to do wonders for chewing through something about 3.5 inches thick. So there's my tip of the day for you. And a tip on the CPR. Hang on the back overflows, since I can't cut one in like I did on this tank. I wish I could. I was actually going to salvage that drain and put it on the other end, but I'm glad I didn't try to drill it, because the glass would have just blew up in my face. And of course I got to do a little maintenance here tonight. I got to muck this out and spray off the racks. Basically scrub the algae scrubbing, and a little mucking. So happens, or you get a whole lot of algae build up. You either have algae in here and keep it in here, or it ends up all over here. And I'd rather keep it out of here. Everybody have a great night. Oh, somebody asked why I had cardboard keep the light off of my reactors and the algae out of my ATO and my Aqua stirrer. So that's kind of why it looks a little ratty, I guess. Also have a shade here to keep light off my calcium reactor. I really don't like algae growing inside of them. So, a couple tips. Have a great day. Everybody take care. Subscribe if you like it. Don't if you don't. Have a great night.